What? That's not right. There it is. What's going down, everybody? Sometimes you hit the wrong button. What can I say? It happens. It happens to the best of us. I'm not saying I'm the best of us. I'm just saying it happens. Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing well. Today, I think we got a couple of things we can take care of. We got a couple of things I want to talk about that have been popping over in the Discord. So we'll talk about a couple of those things. We have, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very stoked for this. We've got an RG slide that is tapped in and working. So I think we'll maybe do a little play testing on here. If there's anything in particular that you want to see, we'll fire it up and see how it does. But also we might just jump in and have some fun. In the if you're over in the Discord and you're part of the Game of the Month Club, I think you will know that we are currently playing through a little game that I like to call Quack Shot. I did finish this one already for the Game of the Month, but if anybody's struggling, I am happy to kind of pop in there and give you guys some pointers. So yeah, we've been playing some Quack Shot, which was great, and then also we've been playing a little something that I like to call Zelda Link's Awakening. And as you can see, I got my save game going right here. If you're playing Game of the Month, you may have some catching up to do. I haven't seen anything posted yet that shows that somebody's ahead of me. So all I have to say is, if you take a look at our items here, you take a look at where we're sitting, people got some catching up to do. I think is what I'm trying to get down to here. Why doesn't it let me see my goodies? It's probably because I'm in a dungeon. You got to be in the overworld to actually see the instruments that you've collected. But I've got six. I think I have six. I have 6 out of the 8 or 5 out of the 8. We'll run outside and we'll find out. So all that to say, some very cool stuff that we can jump into. And then also we need to finish Space Quest 5. We're like right at the end, and I know that kind of feels like old news, but I think we need to, at some point, go back and wrap that board up. As always, if you're here, you can hit that thumbs up. That would be really sweet. We added this new window shade, thinking it was, I'll tell you what, aesthetically it's nice for the room, but you can basically see right through it on the stream, so that kind of sucks, but that is what it is, whatever. All right, so one of the things, Marcone in the chat, what's up, dude? Good to see you, my friend. I know you're heading to work, so if you can't hang for too long, I totally understand. Just glad to see you. I did have to get started a little bit early today. I have some, as you know, my summer schedule gets all wackadoo, and I've got something I have to go to at 12:30, so I'm like, well, let me start a little early and then try to wrap up by that time, so that should work out. But one of the other things that I had to do was my daughter is in this summer program, and they were she's in the summer program where she was doing like a drama class, and they did Hercules, and today was the performance, and she played the part of the Danny DeVito character, Phil, the little goat dude. I forget what the like mythical name. He's not a fawn, is he? He might be a fawn. He's kind of like Mr. Tumnus. Maybe he's a fawn. I don't know. But she played that part and like had to sing his song and stuff, and she did an awesome job. So that was super fun to go sit and see. So had to do that as well. We got a few minutes left. We're gonna be out in that 96-degree heat, dude. Yeah, today here it's supposed to be 102. We're living the hot life, baby. You and me. Dang. Speaking of Marcone, this is one of the things I wanted to talk about that got thrown in the Discord not too long ago that I think is really interesting. I'd love to get your take on it, everybody. This is coming from 7 News in Miami. Chuck E. Cheese launches adult-focused Chuck's Arcade with location in Florida as part of a national expansion. We're talking about a Chuck E. Cheese for grown-ups. Which kind of, isn't that just Dave & Buster's? I don't know. I'd love to hear what you think about this. I talked about this not too long ago in regards to Dave & Buster's. I went to a Dave & Buster's for the very first time, and I have to say, I was a little disappointed. Because I think what I was expecting is something like Ground Control in Portland, where it's like there's going to be like a nice selection of games that maybe there'll be some like older games that will connect with like an older audience essentially. And I think I told you guys, like when I went into Dave & Buster's, every game in there was almost like a blown up version of like a mobile game. Like even what you were playing on was like felt like a giant phone screen, and everything was like touch, and it was like random stuff like Subway Surfers and Angry Birds and like even the fighting games. They had the DC is it Injustice, I think is what it's called. But it wasn't like an arcade stick with like lots of buttons and you could do combos. It was literally an arcade stick and like 2 buttons, I think, like a light and a heavy attack, and that's it. It was weird. It was so weird to just be in that, to step into an arcade, like a quote unquote modern arcade, and have that vibe. I don't know, dude. I just don't know. I don't know. Marcone says, nope, it's an adult Chuck E. Cheese, which is why Chuck's Arcade is going to be a thing. Get a jump on the competition. Dude, okay, let's read a little bit here, okay? Because I'm already seeing a mix of nostalgic arcade games, so that could be a thing, all right? So here we go. Chuck E. Cheese isn't just for kids anymore. The arcade chain is opening a spin-off aimed at adults called Chuck's Arcade, which the company describes as a modern-day love letter to the games and the people who made Chuck E. Cheese great. Okay, hang on. This is a good start. I'm not going to lie. This is actually a very good start because that gives me hope. Don't you break my heart, Chuck. Charles Entertainment Cheese, do not break my heart. Here we go. Similar to the kiddie version, Chuck's Arcade has a mix of nostalgic arcade games like Donkey Kong and Mortal Kombat, which fine. Yes. Is that considered nostalgic arcade games? Yes. Those are not the game. When I go to an arcade that has old games, those aren't the games I go to, but I understand that is going to be somebody's vibe. So, okay, that's better. And newer titles such as Halo. Okay. And Connect 4 Hoops. When they say Halo, do they literally mean that we can jump into some like Halo multiplayer action? Or are they talking about like, okay, there is a Halo, let's see, Halo arcade game. I did play this at Dave & Buster's. Is this at Fireteam? Yes. Okay. So they're probably talking about this. Again, I wasn't a huge Halo guy, so like this wasn't firing off the cylinders for me, but it was interesting. It's basically like a rail shooter, but 4-player co-op. So this is probably what they're talking about. If they had some kind of a sick setup where you could actually sit down and like LAN party style play some Halo, that would be so cool. That's not going to happen, but that would be rad. Okay. Plus, each arcade is overseen by one of the chain's iconic animatronic characters, including Chuck E. Cheese himself or other characters from his Munch's make-believe band. And they say, so when they say overseen, they just mean like they're going to be hanging out. And here's what it says in iconic animatronic characters. So is this going to be like a person in a suit? So like it's an adult arcade, but you have somebody like in like a mascot suit walking around? Or is it just like you have like the old school animatronic, let's see here. saying, oh, that looks gigantic. As long as Chuck's Arcade has the TMNT2 4-player cab, I'm all for it. Yes. See, that's what I'm saying. When we're talking about nostalgic arcade games, give me, I'm beating a dead horse here. Give me the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Give me all the beat-em-ups. Give me Turtles. Give me Simpsons. I really like the AVP beat-em-up. Give me that. Give me those. Give me Street Fighter, and don't give me like Street Fighter 6 Ultimate Turbo Championship Edition. Give me Street Fighter 2. This is a little sidebar. I went to a buddy's house for a party last Friday. A new house that he's building and he moved into, and just tucked over in the corner of this little lounge area was the 1-Up Arcade Street Fighter 2. And I know when it comes to like the 1-Up Arcade stuff, it's like it's hit or miss and all that kind of stuff. It was cool. I was overconfident, and there was a guy there named Adam who I'd never met who destroyed me. So I thought for sure I was going to run the table. No, this guy busted out a Chun-Li and destroyed him. So there's that. But yeah, when they say the iconic animatronic characters, are we talking about, let's see, Chuck E. Cheese animatronics? Okay, so like, are we going to get this just kind of over in the corner? Or like at the entrance when you walk in? Are we going to have them on stage playing music at a certain point? Or are we getting something more like this? Like a person in a suit, kind of popping around. I guess that one might be an animatronic right there. But like this, right? Like this is a person in a suit. So do we get that? I don't know. Knight, what's up, dude? We got started a little bit early today, so hopefully that's helpful. In before AI-powered animatronic. Oh, dude, for sure. They'll have to. I will say this: if they can make an animatronic Chuck E. Cheese at an adult Chuck's Arcade that you can walk up and have a conversation with, and it's like AI driven, that could be kind of sick. I don't know. Marcone says, I don't think they're going to do an animatronic show. No Rockafire explosion. Dude. I do. It's one of those things that it's like, there's an element of it that could be really cool and nostalgic, but there's also just that fine line of cringe. I don't know. I don't know if I'm for it or not, but here we go. Let's see. 10 are open so far at malls across the United States, with arcades in St. Petersburg, Florida, Tulsa, Oklahoma, El Paso, Texas, and St. Louis. I guess for me, on that list, the closest would be El Paso, Texas, and it's very far. But each location looks different, decorated with original artwork that celebrates the brand's past, according to a release. Of course, there'll be prizes for adults to win, and arcades will have old school merch available for purchase. Some will serve food. Kansas City location has a pizzeria that also serves a small selection of beer and wine, a spokesperson told CNN. Okay. See, that's what I'm saying? That could be cool. Okay, David McPhillips, the CEO of Chuck E. Cheese, which that's buck wild. Can you imagine if putting that on your LinkedIn? You show up to a party and somebody's like, oh, what do you do? And you're like, I am the CEO of Chuck E. Cheese. Oh, that's so wild. Okay. So David McPhillips, CEO, said that the spinoff is a natural evolution for the company following the remodel of its 500 locations and sees it as an, quote, opportunity to extend our arcade legacy into new formats that engage both lifelong fans and a new generation through a curated mix of retro classics and cutting-edge experiences. I like that. Shinji Kar in the chat, what's up, dude? We're talking about adult Chuck E. Cheese. And I'm so torn. It doesn't sound terrible, which is kind of blowing my mind. Company's expansion comes 5 years after it filed for bankruptcy in the height of COVID-19. All that $350 million in remodels. Okay. The launch of Chuck's Arcade comes amid troubles. Ooh, let's freaking go. Not that I'm rooting against anybody, okay, but let's freaking go. The launch of Chuck's Arcade comes amid troubles for its chief rival, Dave & Buster's. D and B? Oh no. The latter is a publicly traded and recently reported a 9.4% decline in same-store sales, with its new management trashing ill-advised changes implemented by its previous leadership that included too many adjustments at once. Interesting. Okay. I wonder. I feel like whenever I've heard of Dave & Buster's, it's always seemed cool. It's always seemed awesome. I had no idea that there was some sort of decline or issue with changes happening. So to hear that you have people on the inside who are like, hey, stuff at Dave & Buster's is going in the wrong direction, it's bad news, that lines up with my experience, man. It was lackluster. I'm just gonna say that. It was lackluster. But hopefully, dude, Charles Entertainment, cheese. He's got the pedigree to make this happen. Marcone heading out. Dude, thanks for being here, brother. Be safe out there. That 96-degree weather. Drink some agua. Power through, brother. You can make it. Yeah. For me, okay, so like I would imagine that in California, the most likely place we would get something like this is probably going to be LA, obviously. LA, maybe Sacramento. I would be so down to check it out, but really it's going to come down to what is, when they say a curated, what did it say? To extend, yeah. Extend the arcade legacy that engages both lifelong fans and a new generation through a curated mix of retro classics and cutting-edge experiences. Those retro classics, man, that's gonna be the make or break. Before Marcone heads out, he's dropping that Discord link. There it is. I think everybody here is probably part of it, but if you're not, click it. Come join us. Game of the Month Club kicking off. We're halfway through the month. And all I have to say is Quack shot down. Link's Awakening. In progress. Kind of kicking my butt. Oh, and speaking of speaking of folks in the chat, and speaking of Marcone holding down that #1 slot. Okay, so last week when we jumped in here, over in the YouTube chat, we noticed that there's like some crowns, and we're like, what the heck is this? So apparently something on my channel went active, where now in the YouTube chat there's a leaderboard that's going based on your interaction during the stream. So things like liking the stream, things like sharing the stream, and then specifically things like chatting and interacting is going to dictate stream by stream kind of who's in the lead and who's on the leaderboard. So right now I'm seeing Marcone is #1, and Shinji Ikari just slipped into that #2 spot. So your interaction is going to be the thing. So yeah, I'm seeing Marcone in first. I have like an actual leaderboard here. Marcone in first with 75 XP. Shinji in second place with 50 XP, and Knight in third place with 25 XP. There you go. I don't know. It's brand new, but it's kind of fun. We'll mess with it. I still need to choose the game. I am thinking the Zelda game will be too long. Here's what I'll say. Let's take a look at this real quick. So if you're just coming in, we got the RG slide locked and loaded. Okay, this is my save file right now that we're playing. It's kind of cool too, because like I can look at the stream and I can use that as my, like the response on it is pretty dang spot on. So I feel like I can actually play by just like looking at the stream over here, and I don't have to like look down like this the whole time, which is pretty cool, and just use it as a controller, which is nice. So here's what I'll say, dude. Okay, so Link's Awakening, this game is kicking my butt. Now, one of the things that I don't know, let's double check this real quick. Where was this in the release order? Let's see. Let's go Legend of Zelda games release order. Because was this pre Link to the Past, or was this post Link to the Past? Let's go to this Wikipedia. All right, so we got Legend of Zelda NES. We've got Link's, The Adventure of Link. Then we've got Link to the Past. Then we've got Link's Awakening. Interesting. So almost a full year later. North America for Link to the Past was April of 92. Link's Awakening, North America, August of 93. So about a year and a half. That's so interesting to me because there are things about Link's Awakening that feels maybe a little bit like a step back from Link to the Past. Like there's enough elements of it that feel familiar to Link to the Past. But there's elements of it that feel like a step back. And there's things about some of the dungeon design that I'm not a big fan of. And there's things about even some of the narrative. The way the narrative goes is really interesting. Like you'll see in my inventory here, it won't let me highlight it because you can only kind of highlight things on the left, which are kind of your usable items. And then the items on the right are more of like your big ones that you collect that give you like ongoing abilities. So you see that magnifying glass over there on the right? I think that was the culmination of sort of this really long chain fetch quest type thing that I just wasn't really a fan of. Like it felt like it just had you running all over the map, and it wasn't. And it was all just very fetchy. It was like you get an item, but you can't do anything with it, and it obviously goes to this person. So you run over there, give it to them, and then they're like, "Oh, all I have to give you is this item." So then they give you some other random item, like a broom, and then you got to find the person who's like needing a broom. So you go give them the broom, and they give you the next item, and it's just this long fetch chain quest that I guess culminates with that magnifying glass. I don't know. I will say, if at this point you haven't started Link's Awakening, to get to the end of it by the end of this month without just grinding it out, I feel like it may be a little bit too late. Like I said, here, let me, I'm stuck in this dungeon, dude. I'll be honest with you. There are elements of this thing that are a little tough. This is like a little bit of a wonky situation too, because the only way I did get the hook shot, which was quite nice. The only way to sort of get out of here, I think, is I have to do this really wacky trick with the orbs. So we gotta like hit this orb. Actually, let me grab these bombs real quick. Knight says, how does it compare to Oracle of Seasons? I've not played Oracle of Seasons. I do have it on the slide here, so that's probably something that I will dive into at some point. I just didn't have access to it back in the day, and now that I do, I'm like, dude, that's one more that I need to check out. Okay, so what I think I have to do here to get out of this space, which is wonky, is I have to drop a bomb, run over here, hook shot it, then try to, you gotta try to like get, no, go. Whoops, that's not right. Watch out, bomb. These guys are roasting me. There we go. That's what we want to do, I think. And then, oh yeah, no, that's not what I want to do. Actually, I want to be, I just beefed it. That's what this dungeon is driving me nuts. Because basically I need to get to that staircase. I just don't know where the other side of it is. And here's what's interesting about this map. So all of the gray squares, there's no way that I found to be able to get to them. It just, nothing opens up to them. But if I can figure out how to get, and I got this new manacle thing that lets you lift like really heavy stuff, but you still can't lift those dang, like you can lift these big boys right here like that. You can't lift those little ones. I don't know what's going on to them, but that's the way it goes. Okay. Seems too complicated or cryptic. Dude, kind of. That's the thing that I'm saying about this Zelda game. It's weird because it does feel a little bit like a step backwards in some ways, which I get that it's like a hit that. You gotta do this, and you gotta hit that, and you gotta be able to run. Ooh. I was getting confused too. It's like, nope. Screwed it up. Dang it. So basically maybe over. Oh, you know what? Hang on a second. Let me see something. Can I do this? Nope. Oh, I screwed it up. Dang it. Yeah, this one is a tough one. I was gonna try to get outside so that we can see what the progress looks like, but it's been really difficult to figure out how to do this dungeon. But yeah, there's some things about it that feel like a step backwards, where I feel like Link to the Past was so intuitive, and even just the flow of it felt good. And with this one, I just keep feeling like I butt up against these walls that don't feel. There's a difference between something being challenging but intuitive, or challenging and just like obscure. And there's a lot of things in this game that kind of feel that way. Just they're challenging, but it's kind of obscure. And I get that, like, even with some of the old adventure games, like that was a little bit of the problem, is that it was like obscure challenging. But I find for me, a lot of times those games still, I'm able to figure it out. And this one is just like random things that I don't know. The vibe is off, I guess is what I'm saying. Oh, you know what we can do? I think if I suspend the game and then I go back into it, I think when I do my save reload, it will take me outside. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So there you can see. Okay, so I have five of the instruments. So there you go. And you can see over there on the right, there's like a slot with those keys. There's that one slot where there's not a key, and I know where that key is, but I can't get it because there's like another thing that I have to get in order to get to it. But I think I have to beat that dungeon that I'm in right now. Yeah, you know. That's the way it goes. All right, I know last week, we were kind of wanting to look at some of the games and do a little bit of play testing and stuff like that. So like I said at the beginning, if you're here and you haven't liked the stream yet, if you can give the thumbs up, that'd be great. And then if there's anything specifically that we want to open up and kind of mess with, that could be really cool. If you want to see how some of the things work, it'll be a lot easier to show you now. Let me fade this music out. And let me see if I can give you guys some volume on the slide here. I think it's coming through. So yeah, one of the ones that's been interesting has been the GameCube stuff. So let me fire this up. I tried to show you this a little bit last week. This is the Rogue Squadron. Oh, whoops. Hang on. I always forget. I can't launch that through Emulation Station. That's one of the things that I've been having a little bit of trouble with on this on this one is getting the GameCube emulator and the PlayStation 2 emulator to work through Emulation Station. I'm not sure what's going on there. I need to figure that out. But all right, let's pop into. We're gonna pop into Dolphin, and then I'm gonna launch Rogue Squadron. I was really excited to be able to play these games because I had like limited access to them as a kid, and they run okay, I guess is maybe a way to put it. They're semi-playable, but I can't hear. It looks like you guys are getting some audio from it. Maybe I can turn it on. Audio for the slide. For some reason it's not in my ear. Shinji says this is the most demanding game to emulate on the GameCube. Well, that makes sense. That must be the problem. What I have done is I kind of went in and tried to tweak some things, and let's see here. Why don't we go here? We'll go back to the Death Star attack so you can kind of see what that looks like. I found it, so kind of here in the hangar running around, you can see not too bad. Even when you look up there in the corner, the frame rate, we're getting about 105%, which is not too bad. And then we'll jump in here, see how it goes. Yeah, hopefully you guys are getting audio. I'm not getting audio in my ear for the slide. So I hope you guys are hearing it. Probably need to like reroute something. I have it set to monitor and output. Let me see if I say monitor only. Can I skip this now? Oh, I can't skip it. Oh wait, it did let me skip it. Great.
This is Red. I'm going in.
All right, so here's a little performance. You can kind of see. You know, this. You're getting some stutter there. Like, that's bad. Whoops, wrong button. Like, that's real bad. You can see it's like slowing down super hard. One of the things, let me double check that I have it set. Yeah, I've got the CPU set to the high mode and stuff like that, so. So this isn't too bad. I mean, it's playable, I guess is what I would say. It's not ideal. There's obviously some slowdown. There's some stuttering. I wish it wasn't the case. But you are getting... You know, you're able to play, I guess, is what I'm seeing here. All right, so that's just the Death Star mission. So let's abort this one. I'll show you another one. Oh, dang. In the chat. How do I say that? Loak? Loak? It's a great device. My friend, you're not wrong. I am really enjoying it. All right, so like then Battle of Hoth. The interesting thing is, and maybe it has to do with like terrain drawing, I feel like a lot of the missions that are in space actually run a lot better than stuff that's like ground-based. So again, is this going to let me run around in here? Let's run around the hangar. Maybe this is all you can do. Oh, okay. So again, like running around in the hangar, no problem. Pretty nice. Okay, we'll jump in here. Shinji says, I remember seeing this game in 2002. I think I was blown away. Graphically, it was beyond anything I had seen before. Yeah, dude. Because prior to this, you had Rogue Squadron on the N64, which is great. It's...
The Imperials have landed on it.
But the graphical leap from that to this just felt like insane. I don't know, dude. It was like, this felt like finally we have a Star Wars game that feels like it should. Like it feels real, like as realistic, I guess, as you can say. But like, I don't know. I agree with you. You were kind of blown away by what the GameCube was doing. So you can see here, lots of stuttering. Slow down, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if it has something to do. Part of it too might be the amount of things, because you have a lot of the, like if we fly down here, you have all the ground troops that are walking around. You've got the, big blaster cannons that are going off. You've got their ground troops that are out here. You've got their ATSTs. You've got stuff in the sky that's landing. So again, playable, but not, it's not running. Let's just let him do his thing. Let me see if it'll let me get this guy to Tokyo. So again, it's playable, but it's not, we're not getting 100%. I think up there in the corner it's insane. Frame rate wise, we're running probably averaging around 65. So not ideal, but playable, fun. Like, it's going to let you kind of experience it. I think, did I beat this level? Let me see what the next one was. Whew, that was a big dip right there, down to 13%. Yowza. Battle Path. Prison of the Maw. Oh, yeah. So, like, this one, I was playing a little bit of this one, too. And there's a section of it that starts out with you kind of out in the asteroid field. And it wasn't too bad, but then once you got to the planet part where you're, like, dropping bombs, it's a little bit more challenging. So there's that. So, okay, let's... Oh, whoops, I don't want to launch Emulation Station again. Let's see here. Let's kill this. So that's Rogue Squadron. That's the issue we're having there. Let's open some Star Fox Assault. This was surprising to me. One, big Star Fox fan, and like even more so, like Star Fox 64 is like one of those like gaming memories that's just like multiplayer, just like almost. And maybe I'll do it on stream sometime, but just like almost 100%ing that game and just like figuring out every little thing that you could do, all the secrets, secret paths, all that stuff. Oh my gosh, so awesome. I love it. I had heard of Star Fox Adventure, and I knew it was like a little bit of a different kind of game. I had never actually even heard of Star Fox Assault. I didn't know this existed. This seems... this seems really cool. I haven't got too far into it yet. I just kind of played the first mission, but this kind of blew my mind because it really does feel like the continuation of what Star Fox could have been on like more modern consoles. And the fact that they haven't continued it or capitalized on it is just wild. From what I remember, and we'll see here, the fact that this was running as well as it was really mind-blowing to me because I felt like graphically, this is even nicer than what we're seeing in Rogue Squadron. But yeah, all the ships, and I get that this is also on rails, so there probably is an element of it that's like, you're kind of dictating what is seen, what needs to be drawn, and at what distance, because the player's not just going anywhere they want. But graphically, I was really surprised at how well this was running on the slide, and it made me very excited to give this a shot, give it a little bit of a
Everyone strike now! All right! Hit them hard and don't hold back!
Did I destroy this couch? Whoa, what? That's sick. Yeah, this one might be a cool playthrough on stream. That's
Excellent! The enemy's offensive power is down!
So yeah, I mean, and you can even see up there in the corner frame rate, I mean, 105, it's holding really nice and steady. So it feels like it must be, Shinji, kind of what you're talking about. That Rogue Squadron really is like one of the hardest to run. And speaking of, so then like when you try to launch 3 is nuts. Like it's just not gonna happen. So yeah, so that's some of the GameCube stuff. Definitely what I will say is it's opening up the ability to play some really cool stuff that I didn't get to play earlier on. Let's see, something else that was really interesting. So we did here. We'll open up some Shadow of the Colossus again and give you a better look at that versus what we did last week. And then there's a couple other ones maybe we'll pop open and see how they do. So Shinji says, did you play Star Fox Adventures? Yeah, no. That one, I just didn't have access to it back in the day, and it definitely, I don't know, it was one of those ones, I don't want to prejudge it. I'll put it that way. I've heard a lot of things about it that make me think, oh, like, is it going to be as enjoyable? Like, the things about Star Fox that I love, there may be less of that and more of kind of like adventure-y running around type stuff, but I don't want to prejudge it. I want to give it a shot. So that is one that I need to go ahead and pick up because I'm a big fan of, the Star Fox universe in general. All right, so here we go with some Shadow of the Colossus. Again, I can't hear anything for some reason. Are you guys getting audio? And if so, balance-wise, whoops. Balance-wise, how does it sound for you? Yes, it sounds great. Okay, cool. Awesome. So let's see. We'll head over here to the first. I have not played. No glitches on the audio. Oh, excellent. Okay, sweet, dude. I love that. Wish I could hear it. I'll have to figure out what the routing is on that. Because I feel like when I had it up and I was doing my play testing to get ready for today, I felt like I had audio and everything. So there must be some sort of routing issue that's going on, but that's all right. In the testing that I've done with this, I've got up to the Colossus, but I haven't actually like tried to drop him. It'll be interesting with like the side buttons and stuff, and I don't remember all the controls, and so we'll see how it goes. But it looks amazing. I really need to play this game. Yeah, dude, again, I've said it many times. This game for me is probably in my top 5 of all time, all games. It is so good. And it'll be interesting to kind of play through it a little bit more on how do I climb up again? Climb, dude. Why aren't you? You're right there. Climb. Just get over the ledge. Go. And go. What? Now I can jump. Oh, there we go. It'll be interesting to play it on the handheld form factor because there are some elements of the controls and definitely some spaces where it's like you gotta get the platforming right, otherwise you're gonna botch it. And like even just some of the fights, it's like very critical that you are doing the right stuff, otherwise you're gonna beef it. But there are moments when I talk about like cinematic moments in games and the way that they create. How do I duck again? Oh, R1 and triangle to execute a dive roll. There we go. The stuff that this game does is just wild. Just some wild moments. So I can't recommend it highly enough. All right, all we got to do is this is kind of like our climbing tutorial, teaching you the mechanics of how to kind of climb and hold on to things, because that's going to be a big part of the game when it comes to defeating enemies and stuff. And so we just got to we're almost to the top. I think this is the last jump here that you have to do. And even just the physics of the way that he handles. Oh, see, I let go too early. The physics of the way that he climbs and kind of interacts with the environment, I think is so cool. It feels very fluid, but also very realistic, I guess, in the sense that the way that they do like momentum and stuff like that is just so cool. You know, he feels like a hero, but he doesn't feel like, and I think it gets better as the game goes on, but like it also feels kind of real. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just cool. So Let's see. Some games you just see them and you know there's something special. This is one of them. Yeah, dude, for sure. Marcone says Shadow of the Colossus just feels organic, if that makes sense. Yes, I think that's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah, something like that. So, okay. So this is your first Colossus. You can hold L1 to kind of focus on them. So they're not all this sort of passive. This one is kind of our tutorial guy. Let's see here. It's been a hot minute since... Whoops. Come on, camera. Ugh. I'm out of practice. There we go. All right, so then we see his little marking there. We're going to jab the sword in. Okay. If I remember right, yeah, that's going to get him to kneel down. So then we can climb up on his butt. Hold on, dude. So kind of like in Breath of the Wild, there is an element of the like your grip or stamina meter. So you can see that little pink circle continues to get smaller. You can build it up, but that's kind of like some of the big climbs you have to do are pretty tough. Oh, see, I love that. Like, oh my gosh. I wish I could hear it with you guys. Do like a jumping grab. All right. He's going to try to shake you off. You got to keep holding R1 so he doesn't shake you off. And then if I remember right, we got to get up on top of his dome. I just remember the first time I played this on the PS2, like, this was so buck wild. I'm like, the scale of this game, like, what are they doing? Shove it in his head. I had never played anything like this. Oh, and see, he's going to whip you around. You got to hold R1 so you don't get thrown off. Oh. I keep trying. I need to adjust where I'm at because my grip is kind of unstable right there. Oh, hang on. So every time I get ready to raise the sword, he does something and it makes me lose my balance and roll. Okay, here we go. Get him. Go. Nice. One more should do it. Come on. There it is. Ah, beautiful. Shinji, I remember on the real PS2, I got to the first monster and the FPS tanked. Oh, really? We should do this for August game of the month. Shadow of the Colossus? Oh, dude. If you guys are down, and if people have access, I'm totally down. That is a great idea. Honestly, that would be a gift to me if we did that. So I won't go too much farther. I just wanted to kind of show you. You're saying it runs great. Yes. I'm very surprised at how well it's running. I love it. The fact that I can play that handheld is just crazy. Like, I just love that so much. Marcone, eat more lizards. Exactly. That's the key. You got to eat more lizards, y'all. If you want to get a grip, you got to eat those lizards. Shinji, you're down for August. Okay. Maybe that's what we'll go with. You know what? I'm not even going to save it. Because when we start in August, I'm going to start with you. Continue without saving the game? Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm going to go back and drop that guy one more time. Maybe not on my handheld, but I have it on PS2 and PS3. Okay, sweet. See, that's the thing, too, is I never got to play the remaster on PS3. That would have been sick. Oh, gosh. So awesome. All the memories. And then, yeah, I need to go back and play Ico. So I did, I think, like I told you guys last week, I did have to go in and sort of make some adjustments. To get it to this point, because it was running a little bit rough prior to this, but I feel like I've got it in a sweet spot where visually I like what I see. It doesn't feel like I'm compromising a lot on like crazy graphical downgrade or whatever, but the frame rate feels good for what we're trying to do. So yeah. Let's see here. Is the RG35XXH collecting dust now? Dude, that's a great question. It is not, actually. Let me pop back into some emulation station. It is not. What was really interesting is one of my buddies, Eric, he was kind of in the market for a retro handheld. And so he was like, dude, can I borrow your slide for a couple of days and give it a try and see if I want to get one? And I'm like, yes, I need to have it back by Tuesday for the stream. But yes, you can take it. And in the meantime, what I ended up doing, actually, I don't have my save state on this guy because I was playing it on the RG35. I started Bionic Commando on the Game Boy on the RG35. I, didn't realize that there was a Bionic Commando for the Game Boy. But two, I was pleasantly surprised that it's really good. Like, besides the, how do I say this? The arcade version of Bionic Commando is not my favorite. It has like the guts of Bionic Commando, but it's not the same kind of game. It's very arcadey. I might even have it on here in the main thing. I'll pull it up if I do. This feels very much like not a port, because there's some visual things that are different. You look a lot more kind of like futuristic and techie, and even the bad guys look kind of futuristic and techie. There's almost like an anime style to this that's not in the NES version that I think is kind of cool. Like here, if we go in here and we pop in here and do our usual comm stuff, like look at the guy, like he has almost like Mega Man. You know, it's a very different kind of art style than the NES version. But the thing that's really interesting is the look and the feel of the game is very similar to the NES version. And so I found myself pleasantly surprised that, like, this is a really good version of Bionic Commando. So on the 35, I actually have been playing through this, and just even like the way the swinging works. Like, I feel with most of with Game Boy ports, it sometimes feels like a little bit of a lesser experience. Like, for instance, I was like, oh, Game Boy Batman the video game. I didn't realize this was a thing. Let's check it out. And this definitely feels way different than the NES version of Batman. Like, look at this. Like, it I don't think it is, maybe not necessarily bad. I played a little bit of it. I love that they use like the same blocks from like Super Mario Land that you can like destroy. That when you destroy the blocks in Super Mario Land, all right, hang on. Okay, you guys can hear me. Weird. Everything. Yeah, the camera went funky, and so did just about everything else. Let me see if I deactivate this and reactivate it. Is it going to come back? That was weird. Like, pretty much everything like deactivated for a moment, and then whoops. Let me try something. Let's see if this makes a difference. One more little thing we're going to try here. Weird. Well, dudes, we're getting really close on time anyway, so that might be the fates telling us that we're done. I do wonder if when I'm running the slide I do wonder if I'm pulling a little too much power or something. That could be part of it. I may need to try and streamline a few things in my setup because I did have this happen once before where it's sort of like shut some things down, and like my ears disconnected, the camera shut down. So I'm wondering if it's like a USB power thing. That might be the case. So I'll look into that. But the good news is, I think that's what it is. I'll get it figured out. The bad news is, guys, we are pretty much out of time. So do got to run, but this was really fun. Thanks for being here, my friends. Always a pleasure to hang with you. And it looks like, as we're wrapping up the stream, Marcone sealing the deal on that number 1 position. Shinji locking it in at number 2. I love that. Always good to hang with you guys. Yeah. Game of the month. If you are, if you're not jumped in yet, let's get it going. On the Quack Shot, again, if you have any issues, just drop it in the Discord. We'll help you out. Link's Awakening, if you're ready to go crazy, then maybe you can power through and make it happen. I will keep posting as I go, so cheer me on, because it's been an experience, I'll say that. And yeah, maybe we'll take a look at Shadow of the Colossus, and we'll just make an executive decision and say, hey, the crew that was here, we're going to do Shadow of the Colossus for August, and we'll just make that decision. Guys, make sure if you haven't thumbs up the stream yet, please do that. Go check out the Discord if you're not a part of that. And Marcone already getting ready to write a new question of the week right now, so I'm sure that'll drop in there. Yeah, I meant to, when one of the questions was like, what's the most expensive game you have? I have a hard copy of Final Fantasy on the Super Nintendo. I couldn't find it. But I cleaned up a lot of stuff in here when I redid the setup, so it's probably in storage somewhere off the clip. So, yeah, keep an eye on that kind of stuff. And guys, I'm going to be traveling this weekend, so I will do my best to try and get something recorded and out. I'm feeling the pressure of that. I want to get a couple of videos out, and things have just been a little bit buck wild, but it's been good to be here and hang with you guys. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your week. I'll see you soon. Stay cool, stay rad. Night, good to see you. I will try to have a good trip. Thank you, my friend. All right, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.